Greetings and welcome to another session of Champions Office Hours featuring JCI Connect. Thank you so much for being flexible with the time and day change of this session. We really appreciate you taking time out of your day to join us. We're going to explore JCI Connect and all that this application through Solution Navigator has to offer. Just a few things before we get started. We'll open it up for questions at the end, like usual. But if you have something that you need to ask, or if I need to stop and go back, uh, yourself, throw a question or something in the chat, raise your hand, holler, whatever. You're more than welcome to uh, get my attention to ask your question. If you have questions after the session, you are more than welcome to reach out to your RAM or to me, and we would be happy to follow up with you to get those questions or concerns answered, or go through any processes with you. So let's get started. So we are starting in Solution Navigator. I've signed in, just like usual here. The way that we're going to find JCI Connect, and it did used to be called DS Connect. So if you were familiar with DS Connect, this is really the same application. There are a few improvements to it. They did change it to JCI Connect. So just wanted you to be aware of that as well. So JCI Connect, basically, this is what I like to call a robust communication tool. It takes the guesswork out of where to send things, where to find things to send. Am I going to get answered? There's several quick links to common topics and questions. It's just a really great tool. So let's go into it. The way we're going to find this is under resources, which you can pull that down from the top. And here's JCI Connect. And the first thing I'm going to do, you see the little blue star. I'm actually going to star this or favorite this application. And what that is going to do, if I scroll down here to my favorites, there's DS Connect. I don't have to pull anything down. I can just go right to my favorites, and it's a shortcut. My favorites is handy for anything that you use frequently, but it's also really handy to throw things in there that maybe you don't use frequently, just so you don't have to wonder what it's called, where's it at when I need it once in a blue moon or something like that. So my favorites is really handy for that. So I just dropped it in there. You can also get to it by clicking applications here in the middle and then going down to resources, which is much like the top. And there is JCI Connect. So both ways take you to the same place. Either way, you do you. But now we have it in our favorites, so I'm just going to jump into it. One thing to note as we get into JCI Connect is that not 100% of it is applicable just because it's across all of our channel partners and across all areas of the business. So in order to kind of satisfy everybody, they had to throw all of this content into JCI Connect. So, a lot of it won't pertain, but we'll go into each tile, as I like to call it, and we'll take a look at things. And if you have questions, and we'll see what's applicable and what's not. So really, there's a couple of areas here on the main JCI Connect page, and that's the tiles of areas of the business, topics, functions, and then over on the right are some quick links to most commonly asked questions or requests or things that maybe are hard to find. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into the tiles. I'm going to start with billing and pricing. And each tile is set up very similar in that the left side is a take me to, which is kind of a quick link. And then over on the right side is a I want to. And so if you want to request credit on a marketing program or submit a claim, um, it'll kind of take you into those steps, and I will show you that kind of in a different tile. But really, billing and pricing, this isn't going to pertain any freight questions that you would have or billing. Uh, Most likely will go through your DC. So this would not pertain, except if for parts or accessories, anything that you would order direct from JCI, then these topics or functions would pertain. But if you need to take a look at the pricing plan policy, that's a quick link to that. Transfer policies and procedures. If you need to see lead time, let's go ahead and click into that and see what that's all about. So this is lead time for commercial and residential. This is actually a lead time report that is updated weekly. So they give you everything here. They give you all the product families, how far out the lead time is, the change from the last report, any comments. You can download this, you can print this, you can do whatever you want with this. So this is really handy, and it's right there in JCI Connect. You don't have to go look it up. It's right there. Invoice lookup, this is good again if you're ordering something direct from Solution Navigator or JCI. So if you're ordering parts, this will take you straight to invoice lookup. So if I click into that, oh, let me just get out of this. There we go. Back to Solution Navigator. Okay, so invoice lookup, what this does is it takes us straight to that function. There's no hunting or looking around for it in the menu. It just takes you straight to it. From here, you can drop it down, search by different criteria here, and you can pull up an invoice. You can also look for an invoice through order history, which is just up here, but that's really handy to have there. Invoice lookup, net price file. If you need to run that, you can do that. Price pages, training. This gives you kind of the location of the Solution Navigator Training Hub for pricing content, which is handy. If you've wondered, where would I go? Would I go to training? Would I go to pricing? This is nice because it gives you a lot of things that pertain to pricing and billing all kind of in one spot. And then request credit on a marketing program or submit a claim for a freight billing issue. You can also do that there, but I'll show you that in a minute. To go back to the main JCI Connect menu, you just hit JCI Connect. And this takes us back to our tiles and our quick links. And now we're going to go into delivery and freight. And again, if you're ordering through the DC, most of this will not pertain, but we're going to take a look at it anyway. So take me to, if you want to see the freight policy again, find freight charges, order tracking and status. Again, this is good content for parts orders or if you ordered something direct. I want to, and this is a lot of submit claims, but again, you would go through your DC for that. If you need to get help with an issue on a part shipment, this is really handy for that too. And we will jump into one of those I want to, but on a later tile. So as I go back, are there any questions just on those couple of first tiles? I know that's not a lot.
Robin, I just wanted to thank you for doing this and reinforce that JCI Connect is really, it's the portal to really interact within the company with us. So if there's ever anything that you guys could potentially need, it all starts at JCI Connect.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's really great. Just and maybe you saw it in my flyer, but it's great because it takes the back and forth out of the communication, and you're going to see that once we go into the I want to request, we're going to actually go into one of those. And you'll see it asks you all kinds of information. It just takes the guesswork out. It makes things a little easier to find. And it gives you access to these groups that are already working for you. It gives you a direct route right to them. Were there any questions? I didn't pause hardly at all. Okay, moving on. Equipment. If I click into here, take me to, if you want the ordering policy, it'll give you how much you need for a prepaid freight. Equipment lead times, again, we looked at that before, but it's also in this tile. Uh, Order tracking and status, you'll see a lot of repeats here, but these things also pertain to equipment. How to place an order, pricing, return goods policy, specifying equipment. Again, a lot of this does not pertain because you're ordering through the DC, but these are kind of the offerings for the equipment tile. I want to ask a documentation question, ask a question regarding warranty on a piece of equipment. It has all of these I want to, which I promise I will jump into in a different tile. But you can report a quality issue. You can do all kinds of things here. The great thing too about JCI Connect is you are sending it to a group versus an individual. So there will always be somebody on the other end. So as I move down the tiles here, and I'm going to go to orders. Take me to, again, payment terms, freight policy. If you need to see some of the policies, the lead time, find freight charges, kind of the same things that was on equipment. I want to request a return authorization. Again, you're going to go through your DC, submit a claim. You'll go through your, well, not for a part, but for any equipment, you would go through your DC. So part source one. And I'm in this tile, and this is kind of where I'm going to dig in, just because I'm most familiar with it, but also just because, let's say you've been emailing source one, UPG source one parts at jci.com. Does this process take over that? No. You can still email UPG source one parts at jci.com. You can email, the warranty email. All the emails are still pertinent and working and functional and everything. This just kind of organizes those into topics and functions so that finding who to communicate with is a lot easier. And it's through JCI, it's all through JCI Connect. So if if you're currently emailing any of those areas of the business like usual, and you're not having any problems, by all means continue to email that way. Using JCI Connect, though, will take a lot of the back and forth out. So if you're experiencing back and forth, JCI Connect is a good place to start. So take me to, and again, this is, the parts policies. If you need to file a parts warranty, you can do that through here. Freight charges on an order, that'll take you right to kind of your order history, and then you can look it up and see how much freight was. Literature, order tracking and status again, parts lookup. This is really handy if I click into this. This will take us straight to Smart Search UPG products. So another nice shortcut. And some of these, they open up a new tab so you don't lose anything, which is also nice. If you need to request a return authorization for parts, this will take you straight to that. So let's go to the I want to. So if I want to ask a question regarding warranty, let's say I want to get assistance with part identification. The thing to note about this is if you have anything urgent, and that's with any tile, please call in to that area of business. Um, Emailing and going through JCI Connect, it is an email and it is going to a group or a queue. So, expect a little bit of a delay versus, calling and getting your information immediately. But let's go ahead and click into this. Get assistance with part identification. So this is what happens when you click into this area. It asks you for a serial number. Anything starred is a required field. So I want to find the motor part number. Requested remedy. We need the motor part number. The model number, you'll enter the model. If it's something that has to do with credit or an invoice, it actually asks you for that. It's not a required field in this particular question. Your information is automatically populated here, so that's nice. You don't have to kind of go hunting for that. When you send in your information, that area of the business or group will know exactly who it's coming from. They'll know who you're with. That's another back and forth thing that is eliminated. Alternate contact. So if you maybe are going to be out of the office, you can put in somebody else. You could put in, different email, different phone number. Again, it auto populates your account, so you don't have to go looking for that. If you have a warranty claim number, if you have a letter number, I realize we clicked into, I want to find a part or I need help identifying a part. So it's asking kind of all this information, but a lot of this information is good to include if you have it. You probably wouldn't need a warranty claim number or anything, but if you have pictures, maybe you put the serial number in, but you're not 100% sure. It was a little scratched. You're not quite sure. You can pop in a picture of that serial number. Maybe they took a picture of it for you. You could pop that in. So they'll have that, upon when you submit it. And you'll see here that I just have a blue line kind of going on here. Like it's not looking right. Common thing with Solution Navigator, I'm just going to refresh or reload my page. This can happen anywhere through Solution Navigator. If you just refresh or reload, yes, it took out all my information, but you'll see that now I have a submit button. If you don't do that and you kind of go through it, if you're able to submit it, it may not get to its destination. So just make sure that that you have a submit button and that everything appears on the screen as it should. Motor part number. Motor part number. Model. I'll put in Jessica. And phone number 2, in case they need to contact me. And then, yeah, just choose files if you have a picture to include. And then I'm just going to hit submit. And we're going to see what happens. All right, so we get our green pop-up, tells us that it's been submitted successfully and that we have a case number with that request and that we should receive an email confirmation shortly. So while I wait for the email confirmation to go through, I'll kind of go through the rest of the tiles. And again, if you have questions, please feel free to unmute yourself, let me know. So what we did there was I want to get assistance with part identification. Uh, here are all the other topics that you can click into with the issue on a part shipment. It's really nice because it's the most asked questions kind of pertaining to parts. So you don't have to go looking for where to file a claim or where to submit a question. You can just go to JCI Connect and you can go to parts, and kind of all those topics and functions will be within that tile. So technical support, we did talk about how some of these tiles are not applicable. Parts definitely is, as is technical support. If you don't have a TSM at your location, or if you do and maybe they're out in the field and you need to ask a question, this is kind of the topics within this tile. Any engineering bulletins, if you need to look up a part, any service letters, let's click on that and see what that does. Let me see what use the type drop down to filter to the letters you are looking for. That's nice. Okay, so we want champion. And I want anything that's admin. Okay, so boom, there's your letters. Easy to find. It's under technical. Easy, easy. Startup sheets, tech service conference materials. If you are a TSM attending this session and you haven't registered for the TSM conference next month, make sure to get with your RAM or me, and we'll get you that link to get registered. Technical documents for my out of production unit. Technical support, you want to ask a documentation question, get assistance troubleshooting your equipment. Let's click into that. I'm not going to fill this out, but I want to show you. You'll see that the serial number is actually starred and a required field on this question. So they've got to have the serial number and they've got to have, what's going on. In addition to that, they want to know, has the product been registered? Have you required your RTSM? It's not required, but this is all very handy information. And really, more is better with this. Again, it's going to eliminate the back and forth. The more information that you can provide them, the less that they will have to go back to ask you. So I'm just going to go back. And what I'm going to do, so I'm just going to show you the email that I did receive. That's pulling up. Technical support. We're going to go back to JCI Connect while we're waiting for the email to come up. And we're going to take a look into warranty. So if there are any areas here that I would strongly suggest that you start with JCI Connect, warranty would be number one. And like I said, if you've been emailing UPG warranty at jci.com and things have been going fine, that's awesome. This is just kind of a handy, again, kind of puts all the information together so that you can send everything at once. So here's the warranty policy. Maybe you want information on the extended warranty policy, parts lookup, warranty. Let's see what warranty is if I click into that. So what this does really is it takes us to warranty navigator. So all the tiles there. So you don't have to go and fish through warranty. You can just quick link, access it right there. I want to ask a question regarding warranty on a part, maybe warranty on a piece of equipment. Let's take a look at that one. Again, this is nice because this one actually asks for a lot of required fields so that they don't have to go back. Serial number, what's going on? What's the model number of the unit? What's your invoice number for it or credit memo number? This information, this is really handy for them. They can get your question answered a lot quicker with this information. A a lot of the stuff later on in this question is the same as the other ones, but again, handy. Don't have to go searching for it. Request a warranty voucher. This is a great place to start for that. Again, if you don't have a TSM at your location, this is a great place to start. You've submitted your order through Source One. You know that the part's not going to be available. You know, you need to satisfy the customer. Let's request a warranty voucher. Boom. You know, let's get it in here. You know, you can put in your if you've been invoiced, well, you wouldn't be invoiced, but requested remedy, you could put in, you know, your order information there or in the description or question. All the information that you can provide here will just get your answer back even quicker. All right, so let's take a look at the email I received. And hopefully you can see that email that I brought over. Oh, oh, there we go. Okay, hopefully you can see that email. Basically, if you are familiar with emailing areas of the business, you probably have received an email similar to this, but this is what we get. We get, you know, thank you for contacting Ducted Systems. It gives us the subject, what did we ask? Get assistance with part identification, gives us that case number again. We'll respond to your case. And the nice thing about it is if you need to add information or you need to, maybe your picture didn't attach through JCI Connect like you wanted, you can always reply back to the email, attach the pictures, provide additional information. So, and it's all tracked, you know, with that case number. So, and again, by going through JCI Connect, they know who you are and who you're with. So that's not something that they have to go find. Any questions on that? Another thing to note, make sure that you're in Solution Navigator as yourself, because if you are in under somebody else and you are asking questions or you want to do things, it will send that information to whoever you're logged in under. So if you're not logged in as yourself, it will send that information to whoever's logged in. So just make sure that you're in under yourself. And if you need help adding people to your local company for Solution Navigator, get with your RAM or let me know and I can help you walk through that process. It's very easy. All right, so back to JCI Connect, main page. We went through the tiles. At the very bottom, and I'll go back up to the links, but at the very bottom, what I like to point out here is this is kind of like an address book, quick reference. It's really nice because it's got kind of all of the areas of the business in one place. You know, when you click on it, that it's going to go to the right place. Same thing with the tiles. When you're clicking in there and asking questions and sending information, it's going to the right place the first time. But if you need to email any of these other areas of the business, because there wasn't a consumer relations tile, you can actually email directly from here at the bottom. If I go over to information, if you need a policy, maybe it wasn't in a tile, you can go to policies and procedures. It's a quick link here. Navigator newsletters or Warranty Navigator. Those are just quick links that you don't have to go hunt in the menu for. You can just go straight to them from those quick links. So if I go to take me to, and again, this is just kind of it's kind of just I wouldn't say a hodgepodge, but it's a grouping kind of a bunch of different things, quick links again. So if I go to this case dashboard and What this does, if you are sending a lot, and please realize when this opens up, I have access to a lot of accounts. I don't know if it's gonna, let me try it again. Case dashboard. It may not pop up. There we go. So what it does is it kind of organizes your requests in one place. So maybe you are wondering about that question that you asked about the part. Well, here's the case number, here's your title, here's when you initially sent it, here's the status of it, who sent it, and where it's at. So it's in source one parts, which is that email, UPG source one parts at jci.com. So, kind of have oh, kind of have an updated view of where your case is. And if a lot of requests, it will put them all together here. So you can kind of get a glance at all of them at once. So that's what Case Dashboard is. Unfortunately, you can't go into any of the information from here. I know that they're trying to change that, but presently you can just see what's going on. Here is an equipment lead time, quick link, just outside of any of the tiles, find freight charges, order tracking and status, parts lookup, etc., etc. And training. If I go to training and navigator, again, this is going to take me to the training section. And what's nice is when it takes you to places in Navigator, it gives you this breadcrumb. So if you want to access it later, maybe you're not in JCI Connect, you could see, oh, I just need to drop down training, and it's under ducted systems, webinars. And here you can pop open whatever category you need or area of the business, and it'll give you kind of training links and information assets kind of pertaining to that. Joe asked a question. How do you get to see your cases again? Great question. It's just this case dashboard under Take Me To on the right side, and it should be the first thing listed. Like this should show exactly the same for everybody. So if I hit case dashboard, and I've only submitted one recently, so it's only showing me one. Let's drop this down. If I go to closed cases, it's not going to give me anything. I open cases. Okay, well, Open Globe current view. Uh, Again, I have access to a lot of different accounts, so it's going to show a lot of things, but this kind of gives you an idea. Maybe you submitted all of these cases. Well, here's your case numbers. Here's the tiles. I have a no heat situation. You know, Ken submitted it. Ken, my coworker, he submitted it, but actually he called about it. So this is handy, especially if you have, if you yourself or other people in at your location are doing more than one function, you can kind of see, maybe Ken, John, David, they all work at your location, and David left a voicemail. Uh, you can kind of see what's going on through your whole location and see kind of, the status of stuff. These are closed, of course, but you get the idea. Any other questions on that? Okay. So that's what I had on JCI Connect. Again, a great place to start if you're wanting to ask a question. It's easy to find content because it's grouped by function, kind of area of the business, process. So it's easy to find things, and it's easy to ask questions. So I will open it up for questions.
Robin, just to confirm, with everything through JCI Connect, you'll automatically get an email with a case
Yes.
number. Okay.
Yes. And again, want to stress, make sure you're logged in as yourself so that you, when you're making that request, that you get that email. Where would we submit wrong pricing on promotional extended warranties? Joe, that's a great question. So I know that that's under warranty. So I'm going to go under warranty and ask a question related to a promotional extended warranty. I would start here. Again, all the information that you can include is encouraged just because they won't have to go back to ask you later. But yeah, I would start there.
And Joe, the biggest thing is if it's not priced correctly, do not submit it.
Right.
Save it and include the contract number in there, and then they'll fix it, but do not submit it.
Right. So
Just
if you're
save it.
going halfway through it and it's not looking right, and you're like, man, I got to get this complete. Don't hit submit. Just stop where you are and go to JCI Connect, click on that, fill out the information, let them know, hey, I'm filling this out. The pricing's not right. And they can get back with you and get it fixed. Then you can hit submit and it'll be right. Great question. Any other questions? All right. Well, that is JCI Connect in a nutshell. And really, that's a high overview of it. If you get into it and you find, oh my gosh, I'm not really sure what to do here, just let us know. We're happy to walk you through the processes and stuff. Um, the recording to this meeting will be made on the QR code here shortly. So if you missed out on this, you can always go back and use it for reference or review. I want to thank everybody for taking the time to join us today. Please reach out if you have questions or if you think of things later, or if you have an idea for a future office hours session. I'm always open to hearing those suggestions as well. And if you have any other questions or need anything, you know where to find us. So thanks so much. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, Robin.
Thank you.